Hello, my tortured poets. Today we are going to go through and I'm going to give you a breakdown of all 31 tracks on Taylor's new album. This is, in my humble opinion, her best work yet. I've been a Swiftie for 17 years now. I became a Swiftie when I was in 5th grade. I heard Teardrops on my guitar and I heard Tim McGraw, and then I memorized all the lyrics to the little songbook that she used to send out, and she became my favorite artist when I was 10. And so it has been a long-standing love. I love everything that she's put out. There are some that I like more than others, but I have to say Tortured Poets Department is a solid 10 out of 10 for me. It is a perfect album. I honestly think it's perfect. It's one of her most, it is her most vulnerable album. It's so relatable. It's so deep. It's, the production's incredible, and a lot of people are left confused. So I'm gonna go through and give you a breakdown of all of the 31 songs and tell you what I think they mean. So let's get right into it. First, we are going to introduce you to the tortured poets of this album. There are many people that she talks about on this album, but some of the most notable are Kim Kardashian, kind of random, but they had beef years ago and she's finally writing songs about it. Joe Alwyn, this is the boy that she has been dating for the last, or had been dating for the last 6 years. So it is a long relationship, the longest relationship she's ever had, and there are some heartbreaking songs about him. Matty Healy, he's the front man of the band 1975. They have been in a 10-year situationship and they finally dated and things did not go well. And we have a lot of incredible songs about him. And then lastly, Travis Kelce, he is the tight end of the Kansas City Chiefs. So here we go. Joe Alwyn, like I said, he was the one she was in a 6-year relationship with. He is extremely private. They fell in love in 2016, right before Taylor's Reputation era. Because of Kim K, and we'll get into that, she was at her lowest point. The media had turned on her. A lot of her fans had turned on her. She'd just generally been canceled, and she met him. They fell in love, and he was a very safe place for her. I think, in general, Joe is a very good guy. I think that's why she had a hard time writing songs about him on this album. Every song she wrote about him is like a sad, gut-wrenching, like, I hated to leave, but we had to break up kind of song. That's not like you're a horrible guy. I think the general themes are he is too boring for her. They were incompatible. He's too calm. She wrote most Reputation about him, all of Lover about him, and then a lot of songs since. They announced their breakup in 2013. 2023. Everybody was absolutely shocked when they broke up, but honestly, we should have seen the signs coming because Midnight's is a breakup album. A lot of people are so confused why he doesn't get as many songs on this, but it is because he already got his album. Midnight's has breakup songs littered throughout there. Some common themes you're gonna see with him is she feels caged by him, she's absorbing his blue, and they're growing apart, and she's just begging him to be loved. Songs on this album that are about him are So Long London, The Black Dog, How Did It End, The Prophecy, that's more general, that's more just her dating experience. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, that's about him and Matty Healy. Fortnight, it's kind of the album encapsulated, and there's mentions of Joe in there. And My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, which once again I believe is about all the guys she's dated, but specifically Joe and Matty Healy. Matty Healy, this boy is very controversial. Some think he is the hottest man, some think he's a rat. I think he's somewhere in the middle. I get it, but I also don't get it at all. He's an incredible performer, songwriter. He is the front man for 1975. I really like their music. I think he's very talented. Matty himself, they were in a 10-year situationship. So their relationship themes are toxic, passionate, all-consuming love. He wrote the songs Falling For You, About You, She's American. He wrote those for Taylor, if you wanted to look into those. He performed wearing a 1989 merch on stage when they were spotted like out and about 10 years ago. And then she was spotted wearing 1975 merch. So that's when the rumors kind of started swirling literally 10 years ago. Common themes again are she loves the idea of him more than him. This outer worldly love. He became uninterested once she was no longer forbidden. Stuck in Neverland. He can't grow up. Songs about Matty are Tortured Poets Department, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, Down Bad, Fresh Out the Slammer, Guilty as Sin, I Can Fix Him, No I Really Can, LOML, Love of My Life, Chloe or Sam or Sophia Marcus, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, and Peter. All amazing songs. Like, Matty, thank you. Thank you for whatever you did. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry Taylor had to go through this, but like, the songs speak. Travis, we love Travis. He is the best person she's dated. They just feel so good together. I'm so happy about him. He had a friendship bracelet and a dream. He went to the Eras tour in Kansas City, which is where he like plays, which where he lives. He saw her and he made a friendship bracelet with his number on it. He tried to shoot a shot, get it to her. He never really got it to her, but word got through. They had a mutual friend connection and they eventually started dating, and they are so cute together. He is the star player, one of the star players of the Kansas City Chiefs, 3-time Super Bowl champ. He's very family oriented, down to earth. He loves to have fun. He praises Taylor while keeping all the details of the relationship very private, and he lets her live as normal of a life as possible, so we love him for that. Songs about him are Alchemy, So High School, But Daddy I Love Him, which is Maddie Healy and Travis, and The Albatross. We're going to be getting so much more Travis songs. This album has been 2 years in the works, so they haven't even been dating remotely that long, so we will be getting a lot more Travis songs, and I'm just happy he made an appearance on this album. Kim K, we all know Kim K. She was married to Kanye West, who infamously interrupted her at the VMA speech when she was accepting her award for Best Music Video. He says that Beyonce should have won, which started this initial beef. In 2016, Kanye called up Taylor and said, I'm going to make this song called Famous, where he says, I made that bit famous. He says, me and Taylor might still have sex. It's really not a good song. But he says that Taylor agreed to hearing that. Kim K doctored the video to look like she knew everything that was going on. They did call, but she didn't know the full details. So when Taylor came out, when the song was released, and said, hey, I didn't tell you to do that, Kim K took it to the internet and said Taylor's a snake, which completely inspired her Reputation era. She went into hiding for 2 years because she was massively canceled. It was a very sad time, very lonely time. And she came back amazing with her Reputation album. And many people still do not know the truth about what Kim did. So that she is here to set the record straight with Thank You, Amy. Come on. Kim spelled out in the title. That's great. And Cassandra. So now here we are going to meet the producers. These two men. So Taylor writes all of her own songs, not completely by herself. She's written a few on this album by herself, but she co-writes with Jack Antonoff and Aaron Dessner. And these people are amazing. So Jack Antonoff, if you don't know him by now, you are missing out. He was the member of the band Fun, and now he is currently part of a band called The Bleachers. They have great music. He's been collaborating with Taylor since 2014 when she released 1989. He's worked on 1989, Reputation, Lover, Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, and now Torture Poets Department. He also produces for people like Lana Del Rey, Lorde. He helped produce 1975's last album, which is just crazy. Like, he knows things that no one else will know. He brings a lot of that pop synth feel to the albums. He's more experimental, and he's one of Taylor's best friends. He's written some incredible songs and produced some incredible songs. Aaron Dessner, we love Aaron Dessner. He's been collaborating on Taylor's album since 2020 when she released Folklore and Evermore. He's part of the band called The National, but he has helped write and produce for people like Mumford & Sons and Bon Iver. He's written songs and co-written songs like Skinny Love, Little Lion Man, Cowboy Like Me, Champagne Problems, Exile. He's produced some of my favorite songs ever. I'm so grateful for him. One thing I will say about Tortured Poets Department and why I think it is elevated to like a perfect album is they went so hard with the bridges. The production is incredible. I literally am obsessed with the production. Like, all these little things that they do to make the album so special. Thank you. But also, Taylor's kind of known for her bridges, and I felt like Midnights did not have as many bridges, which I was missing out on. But the bridges of this album are all-time, cannot be beat. Okay, so let's get into the tracks. All of these songs were kind of written and inspired by Taylor's lives, but I don't think they're intended to be interpreted so literally. While it is fun, and while I do this, like, oh, I think this was written about Maddie at this time, and this was about Jack and Travis, it's fun to figure out her life, but she writes these with the intention that we will apply them to our own lives and, like, find that character in our lives and relate to her music, and that's what makes her music feel so personal and so relatable. So as we go through these songs, think of it as analyzing, like, poetry and lyrics, and obviously think about how this applies to her life, but, like, look inward today, okay? We're gonna feel some things. The first track of the album, Fortnite featuring Post Malone. I love Posty. I think that he was such a good addition on this track. Do wish we heard a little bit more Posty, but I'm not gonna complain because it was amazing. This track really confused me at first, and it wasn't until I listened to Taylor's voice memo that I was like, oh, I'm kind of getting it. So these are, I'm gonna highlight some of my favorite lyrics from the song and then, like, my analysis. She says, I love you, it's ruining my life. I love you, it's ruining my life. I touched you, but only for a fortnight. I touched you, but I touched you. For a fortnight, which means a period of 14 days, we were forever running. Sometimes ask about the weather. Now you're in my backyard. We've turned into good neighbors. Your wife waters flowers. I want to kill her. I love the song, but I was so confused. So basically, this is summing up the album as a whole. And if you watch the music video, you will see that she pulls inspiration from all of the songs on this track and even some of her like past music videos and works. But basically, this song means that in the grand scheme, when you're looking back on a relationship, it really is only a fortnight in your life. Like in the 90 years that you're going to live, these little relationships, in the moment they mean so much to you, but they're really not that much time. However, she still is hung up on it. It's still like ruining her life. I love you and I hate you. Like she can't move on and she wishes she could. He's moved on. They're metaphorically good neighbors. Like when they do few and far between see each other, they're like cordial with each other. He's moved on. He's happy. His wife waters flowers. Her husband's cheating. She wants to kill her. It's like she wants to be back together with him and she can't, and she reminisces on those times. Also, when he says move to Florida, buy the car you want, but it won't start up till I touch you, she's saying she's trying to flee from these feelings. She's trying to move on, but she can't even get the car to start up until she's with him again. Next song is Tortured Poets Department. This song is about Maddie Healy through and through. So another thing you need to know about the name, Joe Alwyn had a group chat called the Tortured Poets, and I think that's where she got the inspiration for this, and I kind of love like that level of petty. But also Maddie Healy really fits into the build of a Tortured Poets, which makes her the chairman, because these are like the two main characters of this album, and they are very like angsty, what do you call it, like analytical, like creatives. They're tortured poets, and she is the chairman of them. So first I thought this was about Joe, but it definitely is not. Some of the best lyrics I think is, but you're in self-sabotage mode, throwing spikes down the road, but I've seen this episode and I've still loved the show. Who else decodes you? You're not Dylan Thomas. Dylan Thomas was a famous poet from like the 40s. He was very romantic and emotional, and then Patti Smith was like a punk rock icon. They both lived in the Chelsea Hotel, which is in New York. And so she's saying, you're not him, I'm not her, this isn't the Chelsea Hotel, we're just modern idiots. Like, we're not that deep, it's not that deep, we're just like two idiots who are in love. And she says, sometimes I wonder if you're gonna screw this up with me, but you told Lucy you'd kill yourself if I ever leave. I said the same to Jack about you, so I felt seen. Lucy is their mutual friend. She's one of the members of the band Boy Genius. They went to the Eras tour together. And so they were just both very like emotional, big feelings. Like I said, this all-consuming toxic kind of love. And then he would even like mess with her about the future. She says, at dinner, you take the ring off my middle finger and put it on the one that people put wedding rings on, and that's the closest I've come to my heart exploding. So this song is just relatable because she's reflecting on these simple moments of a relationship. She stands by him through his like emotional episodes, and she still loves him. And it just kind of sets us up to understand how she felt so strongly for him throughout the rest of the album. She even refers to the line as a tattooed golden retriever. That's so Maddie Healy. The next song, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. I love this. I love what this like metaphor means. So I think this is about like every guy she's ever dated. I think obviously Maddie and Joe are top of mind, but like specifically every guy who treats you like this shiny new object, you're their favorite toy. They like can't play with you enough. They're like obsessed with you, and then slowly the toy doesn't become interesting anymore. They put it back on the shelf. They never really like treat you the way that they treated you when they first met you. So some of my favorite lines are, rivulets descend my plastic smile. So that means like a small stream. So she's trying to be like this perfect doll, but she's still like crying inside. So creative. I'll tell you, my boy only breaks his favorite toys, meaning she once was the favorite, but he's moving on. I like this the part of the bridge where she says, pull the string and I'll tell you that he runs because he loves me. Because I knew too much, there was danger in the heat of my touch. He saw forever, so he smashed it up. So she's convincing herself, and she's like repeating like a broken record throughout these relationships, is they're just breaking up with me, they're just leaving because they love me too much. Like they saw forever in me, so they're smashing it up. She's kind of living in delusion, like there's nothing wrong with me, I'm a perfect toy, but like they can't figure it out. They saw forever, so they run. And then once I fix me, they're gonna miss me. Like she keeps thinking maybe there's something wrong with me, and if I fix myself, they'll love me. And the end when she says, just say when, I'd play again. I felt more when we played pretend than with all of these 10. So like the idea of being with him, and I think specifically about Maddie Healy, like the idea of being with him, she felt more than like with any other guy, because he took me out of my box. That's metaphorically taking her out of her cage, which she speaks a lot with Joe. Took her out of her box, stole her tortured heart, stole her broken heart, left all these broken parts, told me I'm better off, but I'm not. That is just such a sad song. And so I'm gonna put this PowerPoint in the description, so if you want to like read these, you can too. Down Bad, it's actually been the first time I haven't even felt the need to like rank my favorites on one of her albums, because I just love all of the songs so much. But like Down Bad instantly was so high up for me. The production on the song is so fun, it's so interesting, and the words, it's like the most sad girl depressing pop song I've ever heard. It is, say with me, about the idea of an alien abduction. Okay, stay with me. Like I said, the production kind of sounds like almost extraterrestrial, but what she's saying, and literally my husband is the one who caught this. He was like, I love that she references like aliens throughout this, and I was like, you're crazy. And then I realized she does. So she says, did you really beam me up in a cloud of sparkling dust? Like, did you abduct me just to do experiments on, tell me I was the chosen one, showed me this world was bigger than us, and sent me back to where I came from? So she's in this relationship with Maddie where like he literally like abducts her, shows her this new world, gives her feelings she's never felt, drops her back down to earth, and now she's just like, wait, what? For a moment, their brief moment they dated, I knew cosmic love. Now I'm down bad crying at the gym. So that to me like references several things. Like she's just back on plain old earth at the gym after like literally experiencing this like outer worldly thing. And also it just shows like how heartbroken she is that she can't even hold it together at the gym. Teenage petulance basically means like a temper tantrum, like all these big emotions she just can't even hold in. And then she says, staring at the sky, staring at the UFO in the sky, saying, come back and pick me up. So heartbreaking. Did you take all my old clothes just to leave me here naked and alone? So what I think that means is like she showed all of the most vulnerable parts of herself. Like she showed her true like soul and these like shadows within her, just to leave me here naked and alone in a field in my same old town that somehow seems so hollow now. Okay, so she shows her truest self. He drops her back down to earth after she's like, wait, I've just like showed you exactly who I am. And now she's back in a place that like used to be fun and meaningful for her. And now it means nothing because she's just like, I can't go back to living normal life after what I've experienced. This line is insane. She says, they'll say I'm nuts if I talk about the existence of you. So that's so like alien abduction coded. Like people don't even believe you if you get abducted by an alien, but also like no one can even begin to understand the level of what she felt in this relationship, and like she can't even really talk to anybody about it because they won't understand how she feels. How dare you say that it's over? I'll build you a fort on some planet where they can all understand it. So she's willing to do anything for him. Like, I know people don't believe in us, I know people don't understand this, but like I don't care, I would run away with you, like just to be with you. How dare you think it's romantic leaving me safe and stranded? So in her song New Romantics from 1989, she literally says, please leave me stranded, it's so romantic. And now she's like, how dare you say it's romantic to leave me here? Like, I don't want to be alone, I want to be with you, even if you think it's for the better. I was in love. This song is literally so heartbreaking because it's like the experience of feeling something with someone you've never felt, like these emotions you've never felt in your life, and like you're like living in outer space, it's outer worldly, just to be dropped back down to earth and have to like live your life and like be with these other guys who make you feel nothing compared to this person, and no one will even like believe you when you say how amazing it was because they just can't understand how it feels. Give it a try. So Long London is literally one of my favorite songs she's ever written lyrically. It is so good. Like you could study this song alone for like 5 days straight. It's literally a poem, and like she's so good with words in this album, is specifically this song. This is about Joe. So Joe Elwyn is from London. She has a lot of songs like London Boy, where speaking of like the more positive things, and now she's saying like so long London, like goodbye to you, goodbye to this home that I've built. So this is about the breakup of a 6-year relationship. She starts this song by talking about how he was the first to pull away and she clung tighter and tighter to him. So she says, pulled him in tighter each time he was drifting away. My spine split from carrying us up the hill. So she's like carrying the weight of this relationship on her shoulders, like holding him tighter. She feels him. She feels this distance between him, and it's not like this crazy gnarly fighting. It's just like she feels him pulling away. She feels this strain, and she's trying to make it work. And she stopped trying to make him laugh, stopped trying to drill the safe. So she stopped trying to get through to him. She stopped even trying to like perform for him, thinking, how much sad did you think I had in me? It's very like sister song to You're Losing Me from Midnight's. Listen to that song. Oh, the tragedy, so long London. It's so sad. Okay, so then she says, I stopped CPR after all, it's no use. The spirit was gone, we would never come to. So like there was no saving this relationship. This is like, we gave this everything that we could give it. I tried everything, there's no resuscitating this. And I'm pissed off that I gave you all of that youth for free. Now she's just feeling these feelings of resentment of like, I gave you 6 years of like my prime dating years, my prime like social years for free, and I'm never gonna get those back. And she's just like angry about that. For so long, London, stitches undone. Like they've tried to mend this relationship. They like survived the Great War, and now it's just like undone. 2 graves, 1 gun, I'll find someone. This line is my favorite from the entire album, maybe my favorite from her discography. And you say I abandoned the ship, but I was going down with it. A white-knuckled dying grip. That is holding tight to your quiet resentment. And you swore, oh my gosh, okay. So she's literally saying, like, you say I gave up on this relationship. I was prepared to go down with this ship. Like a white knuckle grip. Like I was not letting go of this relationship. I would do anything to save it. It is so sad. You told me you loved me, but where were the clues? So he says all these words, but he doesn't have the actions to back it up. I died on the altar waiting for the proof. So she's just waiting to be loved by him, and it's like not happening, and she's waiting to be like loved and appreciated the way that she deserves, but it's just like he's not capable of giving her that. I'm just getting color back into my face. Again, You're Losing Me reference there. And I'm just mad as hell because I loved this place for so long, London. It is literally such a sad song, and I think it's applicable to anybody who's given a lot to a long-term relationship that fails, and it's just those feelings of like, maybe it's not even as crazy and whirlwind and like emotional as those short flings, but it's just like, so you're carried so much for so long, and then now the relationship's gone. Depressing. But Daddy, I love him. I love this song. I think it is so fun, and I think that this is specifically about Travis Kelce with notes of Matt Healy. It's after she broke up with Joe, and everyone had a million opinions when she was dating Matt Healy and then Travis Kelce, and they were saying like, why would you be with them? They're gonna ruin your career. They don't deserve you. And it was like sometimes well-intended, but also like crazy, and people were being nuts and like signing petitions for them to break up. And she like at those crazy fans who were like not supportive of her. And I love this part from the chorus. She says, I'll tell you something right now. I'd rather burn my whole life down than listen to one more second of all your griping and moaning. I'll tell you something about my good name. It's mine alone to disgrace. I love that. She's like, I am Taylor Swift. No one can take that away from me. Literally no one. It is my name to slander, no one else. And then she says, thinking it can change the beat of my heart when he touches me, counteract the chemistry, and undo the destiny. Like, you really think your hate and your words are gonna like make me change how I feel about him? I literally can't. It's like chemical. You ain't gotta pray for me and my wild boy. I think it's about Travis specifically because she mentions like, my wild boy, this wild droid. Travis is so wild and fun. And then at the end she says, even my daddy just loves him. Which we know Scott Swift loves him. They've gone to the Eras Tour together. I think it's so fun. And it's just a great song. Fresh Out the Slammer. Look how much notes I have on this song. It might be her like most underrated in the sense of like people are fully missing the point. It is so written out for us. Fresh Out the Slammer means like literally fresh out of prison, okay? And we know that she's felt caged by Joe all these years. So she says, now pretty baby, I'm running back home to you. Fresh out the slammer, so fresh out of prison, I know who my first call will be to. Who? Maddie Healy. So fresh out of this 6-year relationship, who is she gonna call? Another summer taking cover. Something about Joe that I've mentioned, but like you need to understand is he was so private. In the 6 years they were together, they have like 5 photos together. He like never went to events. And Taylor's that girl. Like she loves to go out and have fun. So I think that's one of the big reasons she felt caged by him. So another summer, like the super fun summer, we're just taking cover, hiding from what? Running Thunder, he don't understand me. He doesn't get me anymore, okay? Splintered Back and Winter's Silent Dinners. Like, their relationship is so on the fritz. Like, she's just talking about the end and how it's done. Bitter, he was with her in his dreams. So he didn't, like, physically cheat, but, like, in his mind, he's with this other woman. So she says, Bright and Blue, she calls Joe Blue a million times throughout this album, fights in tunnels, handcuffed to the spell I was under. So she's in this love spell with Joe where she can't, like, even see clearly because she's just, like, wants it to work so bad for just 1 hour of sunshine. So it's another jail reference. She puts up with all this shiz just being in jail all day for 1 hour of fun. So it's like the relationship has those fun moments, but they're so few and far between compared to, like, the prison sentence that she is in. In the years of labor, years of making this work, ducks trying to escape, ceilings, right? She feels so trapped. In the shade of how he was feeling, in the shade of his blue. But it's gonna be all right. I did my time. So she's like starting this off by like, can I just vent for a second? And then she says everything she doesn't like about Joe. And she's like, but I'm fine. I'm fresh out the slammer. So now, pretty baby, I'm running to the house where we still wait up on that porch light gleams. So they're trying to rekindle this old situationship with Maddie. To the one who says I'm the girl of his American dreams. He has a song called So American that he wrote about Taylor. So come on, that's cute. And no matter what I've done, it doesn't matter anyway. Ain't no way I'm gonna screw it up now that I know what's at stake. Here at the park where I used to sit on children's swings, she references childhood and childlike experiences with Maddie throughout this because they were like young and children when they met. Wearing imaginary rings. So she's running to Maddie. She's fresh out of the slammer. She's fresh out of prison. She's running to Maddie. So good. You can read my analysis if you want. I mean, I just gave it to you, but. Florida. I think Florida is a fun track. She wrote this one with Florence and the Machine. And it's about that feeling of like knowing you've kind of messed up and knowing you need to escape somewhere, and where do you run off to? Florida. Taylor was watching a Dateline episode and she said, in the episode it said like most convicts escaping their crimes run to Florida. So she was just thinking like escaping your past and what do you do when you make bad decisions and these consequences start catching up with you? You run. So she's running, trying to reinvent herself. Kind of has that parallel to Fortnite when he says, move to Florida, but the car won't start till I touch you. Like, she's trying to escape, you know, that connection there. One of the lines that I liked from Florida was, you can beat the heat if you beat the charges too. They say I was a cheat. I guess it must be true. All my friends smell like weed or little babies. She's like in the in-between stage where like her friends are either out partying or like having children, and she's like so lost in the middle. I've got some regrets. I'll bury them in Florida. So it's just about starting over anyway. Guilty of Sin. Okay, instant classic to me. Loved this song first listen, but when I tell you the layers to the song, you're gonna scream. You're gonna scream like, are you ready? You're not ready. I'm gonna tell you the lyrics. Drowning in the blue Nile. Here we go with the blue again. She's drowning in the river of Joe's blue, right? But what else is she drowning in? The Blue Nile. What is the Blue Nile? I don't know. Maddie Healy's favorite band. It's an English pop band. Maddie Healy's favorite band. He's literally sampled songs from them, okay? She's drowning in the Blue Nile. He sent me Downtown Lights. That is a song from the Blue Nile. If you read the lyrics to Downtown Lights, we don't have to go this far, but it's just basically saying, I still think about you. How could I not still think about you? So there's like so much layers to this. Like basically she's dating Joe. Maddie Healy slides in, sends her a song like really innocently to his favorite band about how can I forget you? I still want you. Okay. I haven't heard this song in a while. My boredom is bone deep. She's so bored of Joe. She's so bored. And like, honestly, she protected his name in this and like didn't slander him that bad. But like, is there anything worse than being called boring? I don't think so. Her boredom is bone deep. Okay. This cage was once fine. I used to like this cage of Joe I was living in, but not anymore. Am I allowed to cry? Am I allowed to mourn a relationship that isn't even over? I dream of cracking locks. She dreams of escaping, throwing my life to the wolves or the ocean rocks. Crashing into him tonight, he's a paradox. Maddie is the paradox of Joe, like so opposite. So it's all about fantasy, okay? So she's saying, I'm seeing visions. She's imagining her and Maddie together. Am I bad? Am I mad? Am I wise? Like, is it bad that I'm thinking this? Am I crazy for thinking this? Or should I be with Maddie? What if he's written mine on my upper thigh? Double meaning. 1975 has a song called Mine. Okay. On my upper thigh, only in my mind. So this is all a fantasy. She's just dreaming of him. Someone told me there's no such thing as bad thoughts, only your actions talk. These fatal fantasies giving way to labored breath, taking all of me. We've already done it in my head. So she's like she's full on with Maddie. Like, I don't think people keep being like, it's so funny because they'll be like, well, Joe probably cheated. And I'm like, here's the thing. I don't even think she cares. Because I think in her mind, she's with Maddie, okay? They're both just dreaming. Remember in that other song, can't remember the one. She was with someone else in his mind. Oh, Fresh Out the Slammers. With someone else in his mind. So were you, Taylor. You're with Maddie, okay? And then the like bridge, the chorus, or the bridge, the outro, that part where she says, why does it feel, if it's all make-believe, why does this feel like a vow we'll both uphold somehow? So they haven't even communicated this, but she just feels like if I go run away with Maddie, I just like know that we'll like make this work. It feels like a vow. If I roll the stone away, they're gonna crucify me anyway. If she comes out that she broke up with Joe and it's public, either way they're gonna be mad at her. So it's like, why not just go with Maddie? What if the way you hold me is actually what's holy? It's good. It's good, and it like, you gotta read into it because homegirl's down and out bad for Maddie Healy while she's with Joe, okay? Who's afraid of little old me? This song I had a full body reaction to the first time I heard it. It is so good, and it's just female rage, plain and simple. Like, it's not even necessarily about a specific event. I mean, there's a lot of events you can trace it back to in her life, but like, it's female rage, and feel it. Listen to it. Feel it. Let it in. It is so witchy. It's just so good. And who's afraid of little old me? The way she screeches that. Well, you should be. And she's just talking about the pressure that like the industry and society puts on her. And she starts out nice and sweet until they make her be mean. So she'll literally even say like, it's no wonder I broke. Let's hear one more joke and then we'll all laugh until we cry. She's like the butt of all these jokes. She's like the butt of all these controversies and opinion, and she breaks and people get mad at her. So I want to snarl and show you how disturbed that this has made me. You wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised me. So if you lived one day in Taylor Swift's life, you would not last an hour at the composure that she is keeping. And so it's all about, she's drunk on her own tears. They make her out to be a witch. She was tame. She was gentle. The circus is what made her mean. They said, don't worry about her. We took out all her teeth. We've silenced her. So I think something specifically in her life that this can relate back to is like Scooter Braun with the stealing of her masters, and Scott Borchetta, because like she felt so helpless, but then she kind of reclaimed that and was like, well, who's afraid of little old me? You should be, because I will be mean and I'll do what you taught me to do. She said like, I'm the way I am because you taught me. And they're like, oh, don't worry about her. We took out all her teeth. Like, she's defenseless. There's nothing she can do to get these back. You know what I'm going to do? Re-record them, re-release them, and become a billionaire. That's what I'm going to do. Love her. Love her for this. Next song. I Can Fix Him. No, really, I can. Truthfully, this is like at face value. It is a bad boy song. He's a bad boy. I can fix him. They're down at the bar saying, God help her, when I tell him he's my man. But your good Lord does not need to lift a finger. I can fix him. No, really, I can. And only I can. So she's like, no. Believe me, I can fix him. I'm different. This is going to be different this time. I can fix him. Don't worry about me. I don't even need the Lord's help. I got this. And then at the end, she's like, well, maybe I can't. And she couldn't, because Maddie is, he's a troublesome person. LOML, love of my life. I have to say, I think this one's about Maddie. And it's hard to say that because they dated so briefly that it's like, how could he be like the love of your life? And at first I was thinking strong Joe vibes. And honestly, to be honest, it doesn't matter. Like, let's just self-apply here. Let's self-apply. Let's think about these words in the context of our own life. But the reason that I am saying Maddie is she does reference the kid's name. And she never ever has said that with Joe. But with Maddie, it's always, well, we were just kids. So some of my favorite lyrics are, who's going to stop us from waltzing back into rekindled flames when we know the steps anyway? That is so relatable. It's like, who's going to stop you from getting back with an ex? Like, you know how it works. You know them. You know how it's going to go. Who's going to stop us? We can do it. And sometimes it works, but like, sometimes it doesn't. And then she says, we embroidered the memories of the time I was away. So this way I think it's Maddie. She was away. She was with Joe for 6 years. And they're stitching up those memories. They're catching up. Stitching, we were just kids, babe. So now they're not kids anymore. They're gonna fix the relationship in the past. I felt a glow like this never before and never since. Okay? Later in the song, she says, I felt a hole like this never before and ever since. This play on words is killing me. So she says, what if your impressionist paintings of heaven? So like, what if all these dreams you're promising me turn out to be fakes? Which they did. You took me to hell too. The ink bleeds, a con man sells a get love quick scheme. So he told her, you're the love of my life, you're the love of my life about 1,000,000 times, and he could not back it up. He's a con man. And so this part literally kills me. I wish I could unrecall how we almost had it all. Dancing phantoms on the terrace. So like the phantoms of her house, like she's just alone crying in bed, but she's like surrounded by these phantoms, these ghosts. Are they secondhand embarrassed, or even the ghost embarrassed that I can't get out of bed because something counterfeit is dead? It was never even real. It was never even real, and it's dead. So how can I be so hung up over this? How many people have felt that? I'll see it until I die. You're the loss of my life. That's why it's LOML. She goes from love of my life to loss of my life. Gutted. Such a good song. I Can Do It With Broken Heart is so fun. It is such a fun song. And it's also so Tay. So she basically is talking about her experience at the Eras Tour. How like, okay, so I went to opening night in Glendale. Everybody thought that she was still with Joe, right? She was not. Like, they'd been broken up, but the public had not known yet. Like, it hadn't been leaked yet. And so, like, we just think Tay-Tay's out there thriving, like, in this 6-year, basically, marriage. No, she's just heartbroken, but she's putting on the show of a lifetime. Flash forward, she's dating Matty Healy. When they finally break up, when they break up, we're all just like, yeah, she probably broke up with him. He's just, like, a quick little rebound. Turns out, no. She wrote some very heartbreaking songs about him. He really hurt her, and she just had to keep performing. And so, because I'm a real tough kid, I can handle my... They said, baby, gotta fake it till you make it, and I did. Lights, camera, smile, even when you want to die. He said he'd love me all his life, but that life was too short. Breaking down, I hit the floor. All the pieces in me shattered as the crowd was screaming more. I was grinning like I was winning. I was hitting my marks, because I can do it with a broken heart. That's just like how she's still slaying, doing all this stuff while she's heartbroken. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I cry a lot. That's what she says. I cry a lot, but I am so productive. Yes, you do. And you know who else can relate to this? Every person in the world. Every mother who's having a bad day and they're still just... Every, like, person who goes into work after the worst day of their life and they're just still grinding. Teachers. Like, it's so relatable. And I love her for writing this. Next song. The Small... You guys, I gotta speed this up, but I can't. Everything is so good. The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. I knew when she released the names of the tracks that this song would be. I'm like, she could literally do this for 5 minutes. And I love this song because the title alone, that is the biggest roast. That is the biggest roast. And you know what? She came for blood with Matty Healy. She went for his throat with this one, and it's got one of the best bridges she's ever written. And please, bare minimum, if you leave this conversation with one thing, listen to this bridge 12 times and tell me how your mental stability is. Okay. Matty wanted her so badly. So badly when she was with Joe. She breaks up with Joe, gets with Matty. Oh, never mind. I didn't actually want you. Oh, okay. So she starts it and she says, in your Jehovah's Witness suit. Matty always performs wearing a suit like that. Like, this is so Matty. It's not even disputable, okay? If rusting my sparkling summer was the goal. So in reference to Midnights, she writes Bejeweled about her breakup with Joe. She's like, I'm tired of living in the basement when I want to be in the penthouse. Like, I need to be bejeweled. I need to be sparkling. I need to thrive. So this is her sparkling summer, and Matty freaking rusted it. Okay? Was that your goal, to rust my sparkling summer? I don't miss what we had, but could someone give a message to the smallest man who's ever lived? Okay, here we go. Because once your queen had come, so for the 10 years that they were like on and off, not even just straight off, he is like idolizing her. He's like making all these visions of what they would be. So your queen's here. You got your queen. You treat her like an also ran. That means a loser in a race, you guys. You didn't measure up in any measure of a man. Were you sent by someone who wanted me dead? Did you sleep with a gun underneath our bed? Were you writing a book? Were you a sleeper cell spy? That means like an undercover like plant in a prison. In 50 years, will all this be declassified? So she's just over here like, no, tell me straight up why. Why did you do this horrible thing to me? Because like, were you writing a book? Were you trying to get some content? Were you a spy? Were you like sleeping with a knife on your bed? Are you a lunatic? Are you crazy? I don't understand. Like, she's so angry in this song. And she said, oh my gosh, in 50 years, will this all be declassified? And you'll confess why you did it, and I'll say good riddance. I don't care. I just need to know. Because it wasn't sexy once it wasn't forbidden. Once she broke up with Joe and she wasn't like off the market, it wasn't sexy anymore. Is that every person? I swear, everyone I know, when they get a boyfriend, they have like 10 guys coming for them and then they're like single and no one cares. I would have died for your sins, but I just died inside. You deserve prison, but you won't get time. You slid into inboxes and you slipped through bars. You crashed my party in a rental car. You said normal girls were boring. So what does she do? She changes for him. She bends. She'll do whatever Maddie needs. But you were gone by the morning. So no matter what she did for Maddie, no matter how she changed, he still freaking leaves. You said normal girls were boring, but you were gone by the morning. You kicked out the stage lights, but you're still performing, and in plain sight you hid because you are what you did. And I'll forget you, but I'll never forget the smallest man who ever lived. Send that to your ex. I dare you. I actually dare you. Okay. Alchemy, such a fun one. It's so Travis, and I think it's cute because the two songs about Travis are just so simple and sweet. I feel like it's so, he can just understand them and he can just listen to them and love them. So alchemy is the art of turning matter into gold. And so she's saying that their relationship is golden. And she said, I circled you on a map, and like poking fun at the whole trend. Should you put Travis Kelce on a map? She's just talking about like all these football games, like beer sticking to the floor, cheers chanted because they said there's no chance trying to be the best in the league. Where's the trophy? He just comes running over to me. So you go from my boy only breaks his favorite toys to she's this broken toy on the ground to she's the trophy. That's what I love to hear. I love to hear it. So it's just all about that. Who are we to fight the alchemy? Who are we to fight this golden love we have going on? Great song. Clara Bow. Clara Bow, this is a history lesson for a minute. She was the girl who coined the term it girl. In the 20s, she was like in a movie, I think called It, honestly, and they called her the It Girl. So she's the OG It Girl, and this is the sister song to like Nothing New or Lucky One, where they talk about like you know how in Nothing New they say like the next ingenue, like who will it be, and it means like the next up and coming star. So the song starts with saying you look like Clara Bow in this light, remarkable, like you look like the next It Girl. I'm not trying to exaggerate, but I would die if this happened. I would die if this happened. If I left my small town and saw the lights of Manhattan. So Taylor's like, I would just die for this level of fame. I would just die to be loved and known. They compare her to the next girl. You look like Stevie Nicks. The 75, the hair, the lips. The crowd goes wild at her fingertips. But you're promising to be more dazzling. So it's just the whole thought of like comparing girls to each other, especially in the music industry, like this is the Fortnite music video, she looks like Clara Bow, but it's just like, you're like her, but even better. And then it ends by saying, you look like Taylor Swift in this light, magnificent, we're loving it, you've got edge she never did, the future's bright, dazzling. So it's just literally how you really can't win about it. You can't win as a woman in this industry because you'll always be compared to the next song. We have, I'm not ready for this, we have the Black Dog. It's really sad, you guys. It's about Joe Alwyn. And you know what's funny? The Black Dog is really a true name of a pub in London. And so I was like, is it Maddie Healy or is it Joe Alwyn? The owner of the pub confirmed that Joe is a regular, which is so funny to me because like he loves peace. He loves like being alone. He loves no crowds. And now like the Black Dog is getting getting crowded and I can't really go, so it's just a little like last little sting. But it's a heartbreaking song. It's literally about like, honestly, think about it with Joe, but like internalize this. Think about your own life. I am someone who until recent events you shared your secrets with and your location, you forgot to turn it off. So this is post breakup. She still has his location. She's like watching where's he at, and he walks into a bar called the Black Dog. I move through the world with my heart broken, my longings stay unspoken, and I may never open up the way I did to you. Like, she's not even ready to move on. She's so sad. She's just like, no one will ever love me the way that you love me. All these best laid plans. She talks about that in other songs. You said I needed a brave man, and you proceeded to play him, so he rescues her during her Reputation era. So I believed it too, but he wasn't. And it kills me. I just don't understand how you don't miss me. And I still mean it. Old habits die screaming. So 6 weeks of breathing clean air. She's like 6 weeks post breakup, but she still misses the smoke. She knows she shouldn't go back to it, but she misses it. Now I want to sell my house, set fire to my clothes. I want a priest to come and exorcise my demons. Even if I die screaming, I hope you hear it. Tail between your legs because you're leaving, and I can't believe it. Old habits die screaming. That's so sad. Why am I getting Maddie Healy vibes as I describe this song? But the owner confirming it is what's throwing me off. Self, just apply to either, apply to self. But sad. It's just a sad song. She fears that she'll never meet someone that she can open up to the same way. I'm gonna get you back. This song, I don't even want to say it, but it's a little bit like Olivia Rodrigo's Get Him Back, which is ironic given the drama there. But anyway, it's not that deep. It's just fun. It's just fun. It's like she already knows she doesn't know how this relationship's gonna end. Is she gonna love him? Is she gonna hate him? Either way she wants to. I'm poisoned either way, so let's just try it. It's equal parts toxic and fun. It may end horribly, but she may end up in love and married. One thing I will say is this bridge is laced with actual drugs, and I need you to listen to the bridge of this song. It's giving dress bridge vibes. It's so good. Please just give it a try. Next song, Albatross. Class is in session. This is English, baby. So you guys, an albatross is this bird, and it was once known, it is known, to be a symbol of good luck. But in the poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, a sailor shoots an albatross, which is supposed to be good luck, because he thinks it's supposed to be bad luck. So he becomes cursed, and bad things start happening to him. If he would have just let the bird fly peacefully, none of these bad things would have happened to it. Okay, so this is important. Let me describe this first, and then I'll read the lyrics, because it's kind of confusing. In this song, her current love interest, Travis, he's being warned about the dangers of the bird, okay? And he's being warned by like her exes, the media, people in her past. She's being kind of characterized as a false villain, like a bad luck charm, but she really is good luck. She just was shot down, okay? They're warning him because they've had bad experiences with the albatross, but because they shot her down. If they would have just respected the bird, let the bird fly, they would have been fine, okay? So the albatross, these are important things to know. Taylor's clinically insane, okay? The albatross flies for the first 6 years of its life without landing. She just got out of a 6-year relationship, okay? So she's landing now. She's landing, she's gonna date someone new. Also, they mate for life. So this kind of feels like comparing this to Travis is a mate for life situation. So wise men once said, wild winds are death to the candle. So they're warning him about Taylor. She's the albatross. She's here to destroy you. Like, trust me, you don't want to be with her. Wise men once read fake news, and they believed it. So I crossed my thoughtless heart, spread my wings like a parachute. I'm the albatross. I swept in at the rescue. The devil that you know looks more like an angel. Okay, so they're making the albatross out to be this bad luck charm, this devil. She's an angel. Okay, she'll come in and save him. I'm the life you chose in all of the terrible danger. So even though people are even worrying about, like, her exes are worrying about, also people are like, she's gonna ruin your career, all this stuff to Travis. She's gonna distract you. No, she's an angel. She's an albatross. She's good luck. You guys. Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. I think this is the most underrated. I know this is the most underrated song from the whole album. I sobbed. I sobbed. I sent my sister a video of me eating ice cream, sobbing my eyes out to the song first night. And it is so good. It's hard. It's a hard one to understand. But it's Maddie Healy, and she knows it's hard to understand, which is why she named it the most random name ever, because she needs us to pick up on the bi energy laced in here. I think she was fearful no one would get it if she didn't. So Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus, those are very like masculine, feminine names. Who's possibly a bi king? Maddie Healy. He's literally made out with guys on stage. I'm not saying he's straight up, like, I'm not here to like out anybody, but like we know. Okay, so we know he's dabbled per se. So your hologram stumbled into my apartment. Holograms aren't real, so it's her imagination. Drop the screen in your brain. Hologram stumbled into my apartment. Hands in the hair of somebody in darkness. Named Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus, and I just watched it happen. So she's thinking about him, like, now that they're broken up. Or maybe they're together and she's paranoid that he's with somebody else. Like, she's just imagining him with somebody else. And the thing about Maddie is he got with her after she'd been in a 6-year relationship. She is so fragile. And her heart is cold. If you want to break my cold, cold heart, just say I loved you the way that you were. Bye. That is the saddest thing you can hear when you've like grown and changed, and like parts of you have changed, and maybe you're proud of how you've changed. And he's just like, no, I love the old Taylor. I love the Taylor I knew 10 years ago, 1989 Taylor. And she's like, what about this Taylor? Nope, loved you the way that you were. If you want to tear my hope apart, say I'll always wonder. So they're broken up now, and he's like, but I'll always wonder about it. Stop saying that. You said that last time, and we got together, and it didn't work. You said some things that I can't unabsorb. That is so like true. When you're with somebody, like good and bad things, like you've gave me memories, you gave me compliments that I will like never forget, but you've also like said so hurtful things that I like physically cannot forget. You've said some things that I can't unabsorb. You've turned me into an idea of sorts. He's like mischaracterized her in both ways. Like he fantasized about her and made her out to be someone she wasn't, and like this idea of her, like that she didn't change and she was gonna be young and fun. Also the idea that maybe he takes her intentions and misconstrues them. I changed into goddesses, villains, and fools. Changed plans and lovers and outfits and roles. All to outrun my desertion of you. All to keep you from leaving me. And you just watched it. You watched me bend and change, do all these things, and you didn't freaking stay. Can we watch our phantoms like wild horses? Cooler in theory, not if you force it. That's a very common theme with them. Like the idea of them is better than the reality. So if you want to break my cold, cold heart, say you loved me. Do-do-do-do-do. If you want to tear my world apart, say you'll always wonder. She is in a relationship that is so universal across the board. You change, you try to become somebody else, and you're still not good enough for them. They still can't love you, or they just say they want the old you back, and it's hurtful. Okay. How did it end? I'm telling you. You guys, the second album is like, I was obsessive over the first one, and then she dropped the second, and I'm like, is it better? Is it better? Okay, how did it end? This song is so deep. Okay, so this song, for a little reference, is about the questions that you're flooded with after a breakup. The first question people freaking ask you is like, how did it end? And I get it. We're all curious, but it's just to show like the lack of empathy in some people. Like she describes like one empathetic, how did it end? And how she's just probably getting that over and over and over and over and over again when she breaks up with Joe, or he breaks up with her, who cares? So it says, we hereby conduct this post-mortem. Post-mortem is an autopsy to examine the cause of death. Okay, girly? So here we conduct, we're gonna do an autopsy on this relationship. What is the cause of the death? This is the biggest roast I've ever heard in my whole life. Worse than being bone deep bored. He was a hot house. He was a hot house flower to my outdoorsman. Do you know what a hot house flower is? It is a person who is very fragile and vulnerable as a result of being sheltered. So she's literally saying like, you are a little sheltered, tiny, withering baby, and I'm the outdoorsman. So like, you're caging me. You're this like flower who's scared to go outside, and I'm this outdoorsman. So that's the cause of the death, okay? That's what they decide with the post-mortem. That is the cause of death. He's just a fragile little flower. our maladies were such that we could not cure them. It was like their issues, the reasons were so deep they could not cure them. And a touch that was my birthright became foreign. So like all these years of loving you is now not mine anymore. Come one, come all, it's happening again. The empathetic hunger descends. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear this. How did it end? We learned the right steps to different dances. So this is why I just don't think Joe's that bad of a guy. I think he's just boring. Like, he didn't do these horrible things. Ultimately, they learned the right steps. They're doing the right things. They're moving in right directions to different dances. That's one way to say, like, growing apart. Channel, guilty as sin. Channel it, okay? We both fell victim to interlopers' glances. So they both did. They both kind of mentally were with someone else in their mind. So then this part is so sad. She's saying, you're leaving me bereft, like grieving and reeling. My beloved ghost and me, she's along with her ghost, sitting in a tree, not Kissing, Dying. We'll tell no one except all of our friends. How did it end? I still don't know. How did it end? She doesn't even know how it ended. Don't even ask her. Next song, So High School. This is so fun. This is so coming of age. This is going to be in the next freaking like Summer I Turned Pretty. It is so cute. It's about Travis. And it's about like, remember how she references in So Long London, and I'm just so pissed off I gave you so much of my youth for free? She's giving that back with Travis. It's been very healing for her because she's in a relationship that's like so normal and like they're doing high school-esque things. And so like people have made fun of this song because like the lyrics are so bad. I'm like, no, it's not. It's supposed to be a high school song, okay? So some of them are like, I'm so high school every time that I look at you. And in the blink of a crinkling eye, I'm sinking our fingers intertwined. Tell me about the first time you saw me. It's like those classic questions you ask when you're in the beginning of a relationship. She'll literally say, I'm bittersweet 16 suddenly. So she's like finally getting her teenage youth back. Are you gonna marry, kiss, or kill me? This is in reference to the interview Travis did years ago where they like did marry, kiss, or kill, and he chose Taylor Swift for kiss. Well, she chose marry, but whatever, we can't rewrite that. It's just a game, but really, because the interviewer says it's just a game, so she's like poking fun at that. Truth, dare, spin the bottles. You know how to ball. You know football. I know Aristotle. She's a poet. Brand new, full throttle. Touch me while your boys play Grand Theft Auto. Your friends are around, so be quiet. I'm trying to stifle my sighs because I feel so high school every time I look at you. Like doing it under the blanket. It's like, are you kidding me? It's crazy. So it's just about that effortless high school relationship, that high school love, now that she's 30. Next song, Thank You, Amy. Kim K. Look at the capital Kim. Just so explicitly outing her. And this is the diss track that we've been waiting for since 2016. Honestly, since 2009 when Kanye did that. So flashback to the VMAs. We touched on this so briefly. She's accepting her VMA acceptance speech for You Belong to Me, which honestly is the best music video ever. So like, yeah, she did deserve it, Kanye. And he gets up and he says, I just need a minute, take it from her. Beyonce should have won for Single Ladies, which I love Beyonce, love her. But like, why do you gotta do this? She was 19. She was a teenager and you're gonna do that? You grown a like 30-year-old man. So just what a freak for doing that. And then, so she had beef with him, obviously, but she was so young. So she just like, all she basically did was write innocent about him, which is like, hope you can grow up. And then, that kind of killed her confidence, but she did not stop. She came back, and the saddest part is she thought people were booing her. They were booing Kanye, so they were booing her. That was like a big mental health thing. And if you watch Miss Americana, she talks about this. So then 2016, Kanye releases his song Famous, where he says, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. I made that famous. So he claims, Kim K claims they called and asked if she had permission to use that. And while partly that is true, they did not entail exactly what he would be saying. So when she releases it, Taylor goes, whoa, 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 you didn't tell me you were going to use that. Kim does the old leak. It's how her career started. She leaked a video of them like getting her permission, doctored it a little bit, and then posted like, snake's gonna be a snake. Literally lies about Taylor. the number one trending hashtag was like Taylor Swift party is over. Everyone's just like snake. She was in hiding for 2 years, hiding to the point of she would leave her apartment in like a suitcase. She didn't even want anyone to see her. That's how hated she was. And so this is gonna take a toll on some mental health over here. 2020, poor timing, Taylor. In Kim's defense, that's poor timing. There was a lot going on. She releases the real video, and Kim's like, "Why would you even bring this up? People are struggling right now. You crazy girl." Totally makes her feel insane, and then like brushes it under the rug. Okay, so like Taylor kind of tried to get her payback. Didn't really work because like so many people I know still don't know that the video was doctored. So she came out with "Thank You, Amy," which is about like a high school bully essentially, and she is saying, "I can't forget the way that you made me feel." Everyone knows my mother, Miss Andrea Swift, is a saintly woman, but she used to say she wishes you were dead. Okay. And she'll say, "I pushed the boulder up the hill. I did the work to move on, but your words are still ringing in my head. I wrote 1,000 songs that you find uncool. I built a legacy that you can't undo. But when I count the scars, there is the moment of truth. There wouldn't be me if there hadn't been you. And there wouldn't be this if there hadn't been you," which is true. But we wouldn't have a reputation without her. She pushed her to be better, but that is not a lesson on bullying. Don't bully. And she says, "And maybe you reframed it in your mind and you never beat my spirit black and blue. I don't think you've changed much. So I changed your name and any real defining clues." No, you didn't. She's being so sarcastic. I love it. So petty. "And one day your kid comes home singing to a song that only us is going to know about you," because Northwest loves Taylor Swift and she'll always post like TikToks of her dancing to Taylor. And I'm like, now you can dance to "Thank You, Amy." I love that she did that. It was the diss track we needed. "I look through people's windows." It's literally about the songs. It's a song for the girlies who live in that constant state of like, what if? Like, what if I run into my ex? I gotta get ready. What if he still watches my Instagram stories? What if I watch his Instagram stories and like get the tea? She's looking in people's windows. Like, she's just like still holding out hope that she'll see him, or maybe not even hope, maybe delusion. And it just reminds me of the line in Cardigan when she says, "Chasing shadows in the grocery line." Like literally thinking you're seeing them around you, like everywhere you go. And then also in Last Kiss, "And I keep up with their old friends just to ask how you are." It's just that. It's that vibe. And some of the lines she said is, "I look in people's windows in case you're at their table. What if your eyes look up and met mine one more time? I'm addicted to the if only, so I look in people's windows." Next song, "The Prophecy." Okay, back to English class. The Prophecy is about loneliness. It's just about like how no amount of the money and fame that she has will ever counteract these feelings of being lonely. And it goes back, like flashback, she's with Joe. "Thought I caught lightning in a bottle. Oh, but it's gone again." Honestly, with Maddie, with every guy she's dated, she thought she like got this one true love, this rare love. Oh, it's gone again. And it was written, "I got cursed like Eve got bitten." So she's saying like, is my fate written for me? The same way that like Eve had no choice but to be bitten by the snake in the Garden of Eden. Was it punishment? I guess a lesser woman would have lost hope. So she's like proud of herself. At least she's still hoping that there'll be love. But a greater woman would not have to beg for it. Like, why am I begging to be loved? So I look up at the sky and I say, "Please change this prophecy. I'm on my knees. I don't want money. Just someone who wants my company. Like, please rewrite the stars on this one. Can I just find love? Someone who likes me? Please redo the prophecy. A greater woman has faith, but even statues crumble if they are made to wait. I'm so afraid I've sealed my fate. No sign of soulmates." Literally, this very famous statue waited for too long to be transferred into a museum, and it was like being preserved, and it still crumbled. So she's literally saying, even if I am like as strong and like stalwart as I can be, I will still crumble if I do not find love soon. So like, I think she wrote this when she was just in such a vulnerable place. Back-to-back breakups will do that to you. And now she's with Travis, so she did rewrite the prophecy. Cassandra is the real Kim K diss track. Everyone, like, she once again, she did some things for very, like, digestible viewing. Like, I haven't heard anybody talk about Cassandra, period, so I think that people, like, aren't even realizing. But, like, "Thank You, Amy" was so clearly Kim K. This is meaner, but she just disguises it with poetry. So, like, Cassandra was the Greek goddess who had the gift of prophecy, okay? But she got cursed, so anything she prophesied, they wouldn't believe her. So she's literally, I'm like, "Taylor, how do you know this?" So she's comparing herself to Cassandra. She's comparing herself to this Greek goddess who can like see the future on some things, but is not believed. And I believe what she's saying with like her predictions is two things. Like, A, I predicted Kanye was a freaking weirdo who's so mean and so narcissistic, and like the prophecy came true. You didn't believe me, but like you guys are divorced now and the whole world knows he's like crazy. Second thing is, it's like, I knew I was telling the truth and no one believed me. And like now they do, but like, come on, no one believed me. And so she's saying that like, so she's talking about the moment where she was when she got the call of everything that went down. When the first stone is thrown, they're screaming. So when Kim goes, she's a snake, everyone comes out screaming. They're in the streets. There's a raging riot. They're screaming, burn the... Okay? But when the truth comes out, when Taylor releases the real video, it's quiet. It's nuts. It's so sad. So they killed Cassandra first. They killed the prophetess because they feared the worst. They took her down. I tried to tell the town. So they filled my cell with snakes. Okay, back to the Kim K. Filled my cell with snakes, and I regret to say, do you believe me now? And then she comes with the whole Kardashian family. She goes, they knew the whole time that I was onto something. The family, the pure greed, the Christian chorus line. They all said nothing. Blood is thick, so yeah, like they're loyal to Kim, but also there's nothing like payroll. They're not gonna sacrifice their careers. And they never spared a prayer for my soul. So she's like, nobody helped me, so I had to do it myself. They killed Cassandra. Next one, Peter. Oh, Peter, it's about Maddie Healy. So it's just about the idea of like wanting somebody to like change and be better, but eventually like you can't keep waiting for that, so you have to move on, and it's really a sad thing. It's like even like with friends, okay? So throughout the album, she makes references to when we were kids, which is how we know she's talking about Maddie. And when they fell in love originally, they were both very young and they were unsure of themselves. They couldn't get the timing right. And they thought like now that they're older, maybe they finally grown up and this one will work, okay? She did not want to part with these dreams that she had of what the relationship could be, but eventually she had to come down. She had to stop dreaming. He promised he would find her again and he would be the person that he said he would be, but he just wasn't. So forgive me, Peter Pan, my lost fearless leader in closets like cedar. So like we're rekindling from the childhood, preserved from when we were just kids. Is it something I did? The goddess of timing once find us beguiling. Like even the goddess of timing was trying to orchestrate this. Like how can we make this line up? She said she was trying. Peter, was she lying? I get a feeling she did. And I didn't want to come down. She wanted to stay in this delusional dream state of what they could be. But this was like, so she's referencing like 10 years ago. I didn't want to end our like brief thing, but I knew I had to, but I thought it was just goodbye for now. Because you said you were going to grow up. Said you were going to come find me. Said you were going to grow up. Said you were going to come find me. You said you were going to grow up. Words from the mouths of babes. Promises ocean deep. Made a million promises to her. Never to keep. Could not keep any of those promises. And I won't confess, she's like embarrassed to admit this, that I waited. And I let that lamp burn. I just waited and waited. As the men masqueraded, she's getting courted. People are trying to like be with her. But she just hoped he would return. With your feet on the ground and tell me all that you learned. Because love is not lost if perspective is earned. So she's like, it's okay if you're this little F-boy. As long as you come back mature, grown up, and better than you said you were. And then she said, you said you were going to come and get me, but you were 25. That's how old he was. And those fantasies have expired. The shelf life of those fantasies. Lost to the Lost Boys chapter of your life. Forgive me, Peter. Know that I've tried to hold on to the days when you were mine. But the woman who sits by the window turns off light. She can't wait for him to grow up anymore. And honestly, the 1989 has a song called The Lost Boys. Okay. They just do. And it references the song on Cardigan when she says, I knew you. When she talks about all that, she says, tried to change the ending. Peter losing Wendy. It's so sad. It's just like about holding on to hope that somebody will change and then eventually having to give up because they won't. Also, think of this from the perspective of a younger sibling. I have 2 little sisters and my little sister sent me that and I was like, you are evil for sending me that. You're evil because it's just all about how when you leave home, you're like literally words from the mouths of babes. You're like making promises that you think you can keep. Like, I'll come back and I'll be normal. I'm just gonna be gone for a little bit, but then you don't. You leave, you get a new life and you'll always be sisters, but like, it's not the same. Okay. The Bolter is such a fun girly pop song and it's so slept on, you guys. It's just fun and it's not like really even about Taylor. It's a song about a girl with commitment issues and it is Aaron Dessner did such a good job on that track. It's very Betty-esque. So it starts just by saying how everybody loved and revered her, except for her own father. And we all know that the origin of most hot girls is daddy issues, and this is true in this case. Ever reviled by everybody except her own father. With quite a bewitching face, splendidly selfish, charmingly helpless, excellent fun till you get to know her. Then she runs like it's a race. Behind her back, her messmates laughed, and they nicknamed her the Bolter. So they nicknamed her the Bolter because she would always run from issues. She has like major commitment issues. So this just follows her life as she goes from one guy to the next. And she says, taming a bear, making him care. So she likes a challenge. She likes to be with a guy who like is burly and hard and like doesn't seem soft. So she tames the bear. She makes him care. She watches him jump, like fall in love, and then she pulls him under. It's so cynical. At first blush, this is fate. So the guy thinks like they're in love with all the roses, portrait poses, Central Park lakes, and a tiny rowboat. So she's made him a full-on romantic. What a charming Saturday. And then she sees the tiniest leaks in the floorboards, and she knows that she must bolt. She's like, one tiny red flag, I'm out. And she doesn't even get stressed by that. Couldn't be me. She leaves and she doesn't even hold on to it. She just feels so like free, okay? So she's been many places, men with many faces. First they're off to the races and she's laughing, drawing aces. Like she's just laughing her way around it. And hearts are hers for the breaking. There's escape and escaping. Just a fun little commitment issue song. Robin is for the mothers. It's just a song about childhood and protecting that childhood innocence, and like how all adults know the secret of like what growing up really is, but we try to shelter them from that for as long as we can and let them like have their pure imaginations and play pretend, and like we vow to keep it a secret because it's so pure. So some of the lines say like, long may you roar at your dinosaurs, you're the ruler, buried down deep and out of reach is a secret that we've all vowed to keep. It's very sweet. The manuscript, you guys, this is the last one. You have done such a good job. You're so much more educated now. I'm so proud of you. The manuscript is referring to like her entire life, like all of these relationships that she's had in her life, and how like at this point to her, it's just like a manuscript. It's not even her story anymore. Like she gets it all out. It's therapeutic for her, and then she's able to share these stories with us and move on. So it's just like reflecting on past relationships. So it starts honestly by talking about Jake Gyllenhaal, throwback. And so she says that like every now and then she'll reread this manuscript. She'll revisit these past times and how like this is an experience of dating an older guy, and how like he would promise her things like, if the sex is half as good as the conversation, we'll be pushing strollers, like making these like adult promises to her, but she was just young. And in the age of him, she wishes she was 30. So she wishes she could grow up when she was with him. She would make French press coffee every morning, act all old, but then afterwards, when they broke up, when the Brooklyn broke my skin and bones and I'm a soldier who's returning half my weight, I'm back home, back at mommy and daddy's, and now she's just like eating kid cereal. Like, I'm not a grown up, I'm just eating kid cereal, and she cannot sleep unless she's in her mother's bed. So then she starts dating guys her own age. It talks about that, and then it talks about actors hitting their marks. She's with Joe, and then they do this happy dance in the lights, and then the tears start streaming in synchronicity with the music. We're broken up again, and it's just following these stories of people that she's dated. And then why is she reflecting on this though? Because she's told that looking backwards is sometimes the only way to move forward. So she's learning from the past, she's growing from the past, and then she says, I know what all of this is for. She understands that all this agony that she went through was to be with Travis. She says, at last I knew what all the agony was for. So now I reread the manuscript, but the story isn't mine anymore. The story is ours, you guys. It's the Swiftie. So she's literally saying what I said at the beginning of the video. I put my life on the line to be scrutinized, to be not even necessarily because I'm still hung up on these guys or because I still care. Like, this is just a manuscript of my life. Like, it's in a drawer. Sometimes I think about it, but honestly, I've moved on. It's for you, my young readers, to read about this, self-apply, and learn, and like have shared experiences. And so that is literally what the whole Tortured Poets permit is about for me. And I love it. Not only are these lyrics so good, but the songs, they just feel so good. They feel so fun. There's so much to it. I need to know all of your thoughts. Like, tell me, I would love to hear. Do you disagree with any of my takes? These are just my opinions. Like, I could be so wrong on all of these. Do you disagree? Do you agree? What's your favorite songs? Like, least favorite songs? I want to hear everyone's opinion of the album. Like, please share it with your friends who are confused. I have so many people who have been messaging me that are like, I don't understand these lyrics. So share this with any of your friends who are confused about the lyrics, and hopefully this is helpful. Like I said, I'm just a girl. I'm just a Swiftie who loves Taylor, and I am here to share that love with everybody. And so hopefully this was helpful, and if not, who cares, but we'll talk soon. Go listen. See ya.